Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Now Spinning with Old Head. For the next 30 minutes or so, you're going to be hanging out with me, and I'm going to be pulling out some records and playing you some tracks from some lesser known albums from my collection. So without further ado, let's just jump right into today's episode. So, this is the third episode I've done of this, but so far on both of the previous episodes, I have pulled out something from a band from my hometown of Austin, Texas. And so I decided, let's just keep that tradition going. Although this time, it's not going to be a noise rock band. There were other bands I was into back in the day in Austin when I was in the scene, I guess you would say. The song we're going to be listening to is from a band that I was really into. These guys are great guys, and they were a great band. I saw them, I can't even tell you, countless times, and always had a fucking blast. The band is called Shaft, El Grupo de Rock. Although, when this came out, I think they were just being referred to as Shaft, and the album was El Grupo de Rock. But now I think if you look them up, this is on your Apple Musics and your other streaming services. I think it's under Shaft El Grupo de Rock. In case you like this, these guys are a little more on the, I hate to say pop punk. It's more like heavy power pop. They're more in line with a Jawbreaker than they are a Green Day, if you get the line I'm drawing there. In that world, but look, there's the guys. I wasn't really friends with the bass player here, but these other three guys, classy individuals, really great guys, and really talented as well. But this album is great, and it's from 1998. So it's in Austin at that point, there was a big punk and pop punk kind of scene going on that kind of continued into the early 2000s. I played in some bands like that, and I went to see a lot of shows. But these were guys that were a local band that I thought they were so fucking good, and so I was very supportive of them. Still am playing them on this fucking show 25 years later, however long, almost 25 years later. But yeah, so the track we're going to be listening to off of this album is the very first song, which is called Pretend to Forget. I hope you enjoy it.
What I intend.
So there you go. Pretend to Forget from Shaft, El Grupo de Rock. And this album was like, it's put out on their own like local label. And I love the fact that like even this insert, it's just photocopied to where like even at the the thank yous are kind of cut off at the top, and that just for some reason that's fucking charming as hell to me, because that's how we did shit back in the day, kids. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let's move on to the next song of the night. Okay, now we're going to be winding the clock back 10 years to 1988, listening to a song off of this album, the one and only album from the band Violent Playground, which is called Thrashin' Blues. Also, here's an Ed Repka album cover some of you may not be aware of. Pretty fucking cool. But these guys I think they originated in the Florida area in the early 80s, but only put out this one album in 1988. And it's interesting because the title kind of says it all about a lot of what's on here. It's their thing was that they were a thrash metal band, but they incorporated blues elements into their music. I'm just gonna have to play it for you. that description, you're probably like, okay, what? Yeah, so we're gonna be listening to the title track from this album, which is called Thrashin' Blues. Let's do it. I mean, they pulled out all the stops on that in the the blues side of things. I mean, there's a blues breakdown. They managed to fit a harmonica in there, a slide guitar. Like, they were serious about their bluesiness. So yeah, thrashing blues from Violent Playground. This is on Big Chief Records, which I don't think I know anything else on Big Chief Records. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Some Violent Playground. Let's move on. All right, let's move forward a few years to 1992, and let's move over to England. Leicester, England, probably saying that wrong. Leicester, who knows? It's a small town, apparently, in England that I've never heard of before, this band. But they are let's just fucking look at it. The band is called Scum Pups, and they're I would say a grunge rock band from England. This EP is called Shudder. It's Shudder, but they don't really spread it out like that. And these guys formed, I think, in '89 and were split up by '94. You know, like many short-lived bands in the early '90s. But I think they only put out a couple EPs. I think they have an album as well. But it's very, I mean, I didn't even know this band. I kind of accidentally stumbled upon these guys just doing random video searches on YouTube and just like, well, who the fuck are the Scum Pups? And so I ended up really digging it because the one thing that I really like is a band that didn't make it. I don't know. I know there are bands that didn't make. Hear me out, folks. There are bands that didn't make it because they were shit or whatever. But there are some bands like this. Seems like something that probably should have been maybe regionally it was pretty successful at the time, but not enough so where this is a band that anybody ever fucking talks about. Like it's and that's fascinating to me because especially as a vinyl collector, I'm all like, oh, there's a vinyl of that, and it's just this relic from a time in the early 90s or whatever time period it is that I'm just like I want to have that because I feel like I have a little piece of history that like otherwise would just be forgotten about. Maybe sold in a discount bin in England somewhere. Who knows? But anyway, let's throw these guys on. The song we're going to be listening to is the song Shudder, the title track, I guess you would say. So yeah, let's go ahead and listen to some Scum Pups.
It hurts to smile once in a while.
go. I mean, it sounds straight out of 1992, doesn't it? And this is on Stay Free Records. Once again, another record label that I've never heard of and was probably pretty small. But yeah, Scum Pups. Let's move on. Speaking of the 90s and grunge, let's head on over to Seattle, Washington, and listen to a band that is not a grunge band. And this album is not from the 90s. This is from 1989. We are going to be listening to a song from this album, Rude Awakening. The band is called Crisis Party, who are, I mean, they're very much on the sleaze rock side of things. Your Faster Pussycats and whatnot. They fit in more over there. This is their one and only album. Fun fact about this band, they formed in the mid 80s, and originally, or at some point around there, their drummer was a guy you may have heard of named Duff McKagan. He ended up leaving and going to LA, and you probably know what happened to him. But yeah, this is actually on No Wonder Records, which is actually a division of Metal Blade Records. And from everything I can find, I think they only released 2 things on that on that mini label. And this is one of them. And we're going to be listening to track number 2 from side 1 of Rude Awakening. And that track is called Father, Father. go. Crisis Party. Yeah, I mean, and once again, another one of those albums that just sort of exists in a void in 1989, and that's I normally don't hear the name Crisis Party, and I kind of wonder like what these dudes are up to. What are the Scum Pups up to? Come on. Anyway, yeah, fascinating shit to me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's move on to the last song of the night. I say night because I'm filming this at night, but I realize you guys can be watching this any time of the day. So, yeah. Anyway, so for the next song, we're going to be hanging out in the late 80s, in 1988 to be exact. But just like Duff McKagan, we're going to leave Seattle and head on over to Los Angeles, California. And we're going to listen to a track from this album. The band is called Blood Cum, and the album is called Death by a Clothes Hanger. These guys are crossover, grindy at times, I guess. This is their only actual full-length album, and I'm using the term full-length loosely because this album is like 20 minutes long. They have like a couple other little things they released, but this is the main thing right here. Fun fact, one of the guitarists, he also plays bass. It's weird because the way that they're credited, because like I think 3 of them are credited as bass and guitar, so who knows what he played, but it's more important who he is. His name is John Araya, and he is Tom Araya's brother. He was in Blood Cum. What a fucking great name, right? That's if you really want to piss off some parents, it's like, what should the name of your band be? Something violent and sexual at the same time. That seems like the best way to go. But anyway, all right, let's get into some Blood Cum. Not literally, well, literally in the band, but not, you know, that'd be a way different video. Anyway, okay, so the song we're going to be listening to is the very first one on this mini album, and it is called Happily Married. There they are. The dudes from Bloodcomb. This album is on Wild Rags Records, which some of you may have heard that name before. And honestly, I'm pretty fascinated with that label. There's an odd history. It began as a record store, and then the owner of the record store started the label, and apparently there was some shadiness that went on. But they released quite a few gems of the time, in my opinion. And honestly, talking about Wild Rags, I feel like that should be an entire video on its own. So maybe I'll do that at some point. But yeah, that was Bloodcomb with Happily Married. And that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that song. Hopefully you enjoyed my selections for whatever time of day you're watching this video. But yes, that's it for this edition of Now Spinning with Old Head. I hope you enjoyed it. Put your comments down below. As usual, keep everybody engaged. Also, if you want to buy one of these hats, if you're on your computer or a device, I think you can scroll down and they're there to buy with shirts and other stuff. I have merch. So if you feel like supporting me, do it, and you can get something cool like this. All right, that's it. I'm not going to do it. That the commercial is over. The video is over. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you all again very soon.